They reserved a corner table, quiet, expensive, perfectly lit for cruelty. My mother smiled first. My sister lifted her phone. Dad slid a folded document across the table like it was a birthday card. "From all of us," Mom said, rehearsed as if she'd practiced that tone in front of a mirror. I unfolded it. Disownment papers. Signed, dated, notarized. My sister whispered to her phone, "This is the part where she cries." I didn't. I smiled, thanked them for the gift, tucked the papers neatly into my jacket. Then I stood up, left a tip large enough to sting, and walked out into the night. They had no idea what I'd already done. Growing up, my father's love came with conditions: grades, obedience, silence. My mother's came only when his did, and my sister, his golden echo, learned early that betrayal was a family language. When I graduated, I thought distance would cure me of them. But blood has a way of calling, especially when there's money involved. 3 years ago, Dad asked me to help modernize his accounting system. "Family business stays in the family," he said. I wanted to believe that meant something. For a while, it almost did, until I found the transfers. My retirement fund, emptied. My trust, liquidated. My name, removed from company ownership. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. "You should have read what you signed," he said. "You always were careless." He laughed. My mother watched. My sister filmed. That's when I stopped being their daughter and became something else entirely. I didn't scream. I studied. I spent nights combing through corporate filings, financial ledgers, quiet corners of the internet. I knew what my father valued most. It wasn't family or legacy, it was control. So I started taking it away, step by step. I knew the passwords. He used the same 3 variations for everything. I mirrored his accounts, traced every shell company, every asset buried under layers of deceit. Then I began to move things. Not enough to alert him, just enough to make him doubt himself. A few missing invoices, a delayed wire, a discrepancy in the quarterly reports. He blamed his assistant, fired her. I let him spiral. While he tore through his office like a storm, I met with his silent partners, the ones who didn't know how much he'd been skimming from them. I gave them proof, not anonymously, strategically. They didn't need to know who I was, just that I was reliable. By the time the audit hit, the walls had already started collapsing. 2 weeks before my birthday, I called my mother. I asked her if we were still having dinner. She hesitated, said yes, and sounded relieved, like maybe forgiveness was on the table. I let her believe that. I'd already arranged the final move, a quiet transfer of ownership, legally sound, backed by the very evidence I'd gathered. The company was no longer his. Not entirely. The board voted him out the morning of my birthday. He hadn't checked his email yet. So when he handed me that disownment letter across the restaurant table, I almost laughed. They thought they were cutting me out. They didn't realize I'd already removed them from everything that mattered. My sister was still recording when Dad's phone buzzed. He looked down, read the message, then another, and another. His jaw tightened. The color drained from his face. Mom leaned in, whispering, "What's wrong?" He didn't answer. He just kept scrolling, faster, like he could outrun the truth. "Dad?" my sister asked, phone still raised. He stood abruptly, walked out. Mom followed. My sister hesitated, confused, until her phone buzzed too, notifications lighting up her screen. The shares she'd boasted about, the investments Dad had made for her, all frozen, under investigation. I watched her smile falter. The video stopped recording. I walked home that night through cold air that tasted clean for the first time in years. By morning, the news had broken. Family-owned firm under fraud investigation. His face on every article. His signature on every fraudulent line item. They tried to call me. I didn't answer. By noon, the company had issued a statement, my statement, announcing the appointment of a new interim CEO. Me. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. It doesn't need screaming or spectacle. It just needs precision, patience, timing. They gave me a disownment letter. I gave them exile. And that, I suppose, is what they don't teach you about family. It's not who you're born to, it's who you choose to outlive.